The official landfall of Hurricane Michael happened about 40 miles east of where I am near Mexico Beach, with winds of 155 miles per hour. As Brooke was saying, that's just 2 miles per hour short of being a Category 5 storm.
The pictures you see on the news does no justification at all. It truly does not. When you see it firsthand, when you see the people there, that's when it really hits you.
Hurricane Michael was devastating. It wasn't just devastating for electric. I think a lot of times electric gains the most attention because the lights are out. But gas is just as vitally important.
But as far as the devastation itself, it was interesting to see how powerful nature is and the destruction it can cause. It was crazy.
You're talking houses that you could tell it was a house at one point. It's just a pile of twigs. Just 2x4s, 2x6s, roofing, appliances.
It's crazy how much damage can happen just from some 150-mile-an-hour winds and 13-foot storm waters.
So you see people in distress, you see devastation in the area, you see access issues, you see a system that you thought was going to be there for years and years damaged. And how are we going to repair? What's it going to take?
We heard about Port St. Joe and we agreed to right away send help to assist them.
Port St. Joe is more like an island system near Mexico Beach, and so it was pretty close to the shoreline, and homes, condos very close. Our primary job was to be there to help secure the natural gas system that was already in place, intact, and secure damage, and be there to make sure it was safe, and report back our findings and make repairs if we could. And system was a good system, but nothing could prepare any system for the damage that the storm brought.
Apparently they had shut the system down before we got there, and in order for them to restore the system, we were to go around to all the individual homes, businesses, and shut the gas off, shut the service valves off.
Well, we came in and they gave us a sheet and said, hey, it's over the bridge, make a right. And we had no cell phone service, we didn't have any of that stuff, and one guy did actually come out and make sure we're in the right area.
Most of the street signs were down. There was no GPS, no cell phone service. We basically got some service at the fire station, and we were able to count the number of streets.
We started going down street by street, home by home, where we had access, and made sure people were safe. If we could offer assistance, we helped them out of their homes or into their homes, whatever we could do while we were trying to make their system safe.
A lot of the mailboxes were gone. The ones that were there, a lot of times the houses weren't there. They had been relocated, so we were basically picking around in the debris, trying to find the service risers and turn them off. And it was quite a task.
Houses are in the middle of the roads. Like modular houses were like a block away from where they should have been. Vehicles were 2 or 3 miles away where they should have been. There was a couple of meters that I couldn't find on the house. I looked down in a puddle, and it's 2 foot inside the water because of all the washout. And there was a couple of them you had to crawl up underneath of the house to get to the risers because the house was just completely shifted over.
You felt bad for everybody, of course. They've lost everything. A lot of people have lost completely the whole home. But other than that, you just went in and did your job and did it safely.
Every single person was thankful that every crew, every person was there helping them out. Like there was a couple of people riding around with a smoker on a trailer feeding all the utility crews, people that didn't have anything. My heart was broken for them because I can only imagine myself in that situation. I would have been devastated. I would have probably lost it. It's truly amazing from the amount of people that came from all around the country because there was that amount of work that needed to be done. There was line crews up there from Carolinas. I noticed one from Nebraska, tree companies from all over the southeast United States. There was lineman crews that came from Colorado. I noticed two lineman trucks that were from Washington State. from one complete corner of the country to all the way down to the other complete corner.
The value in mutual aid is being able to take different resources, different companies, and pull it together and pull them all together in one location or where as needed, and to fulfill the obligation of service that you would normally provide in your area. Port St. Joe, being a smaller company, couldn't have done it just by themselves. So I think together is the best way to handle that type of situation. That's why the mutual aid agreements probably make more sense to me now than they did in the past, although I know they were important.
I feel good about the company. I'm proud of them for reaching out and helping the way they did. And I just hope that it's in the future, if we ever need help, that they'll come and help us.
It's camaraderie, Americans helping Americans, people helping people. It's truly amazing, it really is.
Well, I come to see, after going to the Panhandle, how important mutual aid really is.
I can't give you the best advice for a Cat 5. What I can tell you is know your resources, hone in on your partnerships, and in your communities have people who can help you.
You really don't know what prepared is until you see the devastation. And then you realize, okay, I'm not as prepared as I thought. But preparation is probably the key to being able to survive that type of situation.
Really, the overwhelming spirit of being helpful, people came from everywhere to help. And so we're looking at different ways of how we bring crews on, some of the best practices as it pertains to crew safety. And so we're using everything that we learn to fortify systems that we can.
You have assistance coming in from others. They're going to need that information to help, make your system safe. So having it set up prior to a storm is almost critical. So mutual aid is going to have to be used in these type of situations so you can make sure that your customers are having that level of safety that you would provide every day. And that's the only way you're going to do it is mutual aid.